I thought I was done being surprised by Asia. I'd spent weeks in South Korea eating kimchi and experiencing their incredible work culture. I explored the diverse streets of Malaysia with amazing food everywhere. I walked through the perfect, organized city of Singapore. I felt like an Asia expert. But then I landed in Japan, and on my very first night, something happened at a tiny ramen shop that made me realize I knew nothing. What the chef did next left me speechless and made me understand why Japan is completely different from every other Asian country. What I'm about to show you will change how you see Japan forever. Let me be completely honest with you. Before Japan, I'd already traveled through 3 amazing Asian countries. South Korea taught me about respect and dedication. Malaysia showed me incredible diversity and street food culture. Singapore impressed me with its cleanliness and efficiency. I was confident. I thought, how different can Japan really be? It's all Asia, right? I even told my friends, after Korea, Malaysia, and Singapore, I've seen the best of Asia. Oh man, was I wrong? The moment I stepped out of Tokyo's Narita airport, something felt different. The air, the energy, the way people moved, everything was just different. And I was about to discover exactly how wrong my assumptions were. Hey, before I continue this incredible story, if you love real travel content that shows you what countries are truly like, hit that subscribe button right now. This is a brand new channel and your support means everything to me. Like this video and share it with your travel-loving friends. Trust me, what comes next will blow your mind. Now, let me tell you what happened. My first shock came within an hour of arriving. I took a train from the airport to Tokyo, and guys, I need you to understand something. I'd taken trains in Seoul. They were clean and efficient. I'd taken trains in Singapore. They were modern and organized. But the train in Japan, it was on a completely different level. First, it arrived at exactly the scheduled second. Not a minute early, not a minute late. Exactly on time. In Korea, trains are usually on time. In Singapore too. But in Japan, the conductor actually apologized on the speaker because the train was 20 seconds late. 20 seconds. Then I noticed something strange. The train was packed with people during rush hour, but it was absolutely silent. Dead silent. No one talking on phones. No conversations. Everyone just quietly standing or sitting. Even babies weren't crying. In Malaysia and Singapore, trains have normal noise, people chatting, phones ringing. But in Japan, it felt like everyone had an unspoken rule to respect each other's peace. I'd never experienced anything like it. I got to my tiny hotel room in Shinjuku. Now, I'd stayed in small rooms in Korea. They were compact but functional. I'd stayed in budget places in Malaysia. They were simple but comfortable. But my Japanese hotel room was something else. It was incredibly tiny, maybe 10 square meters, but everything was designed with perfection. The bed folded into the wall. The bathroom was a high-tech wonder with a toilet that had more buttons than my TV remote. The TV turned on automatically when I entered and showed me the weather and train schedules. There was a small origami crane on my pillow with a handwritten welcome note in English. The attention to detail was insane. In Korea, hotels are nice. In Singapore, they're clean and modern. But in Japan, even a budget hotel felt like someone had thought about every single tiny detail of my comfort. That evening, I went out to find dinner. I was starving and found a tiny ramen shop down a narrow alley. The shop was so small it only had 8 seats at a counter. An old chef, he must have been 70 years old, was working alone. No menu in English, no pictures, just Japanese writing. I sat down nervously, and the old chef smiled and nodded. Without me saying anything, he started making ramen. I watched him work, and guys, what I saw next changed everything for me. This old man treated making a bowl of ramen like he was creating art. He carefully selected each ingredient. He tasted the broth multiple times, adjusting the seasoning. He arranged the toppings with precision. The egg perfectly cut, the pork sliced at an exact angle, the green onions placed just so. It took him 15 minutes to make one bowl. When he placed it in front of me, he looked into my eyes and said, "Doto, please eat," with such genuine care that I almost cried. The ramen was the best thing I'd ever tasted in my life. And I'm not exaggerating. I'd eaten amazing food in Korea, the kimchi, the barbecue, the street food. I'd eaten incredible dishes in Malaysia, the nasi lemak, the char kway teow, the roti canai. Singapore had amazing hawker center food. But this simple bowl of ramen in this tiny shop made by this old man was on another level. Not because of fancy ingredients or expensive items, but because of the care, the dedication, the perfection in every single element. When I finished, the old chef asked in broken English, "Oishi?" "Delicious." I nodded so enthusiastically that he laughed, a deep, genuine laugh. Then he bowed deeply to me and thanked me for eating his food. In Korea, service is excellent. In Malaysia, people are friendly. In Singapore, everything is professional. But in Japan, this old chef thanked me like I'd done him a favor by letting him serve me. That's when I realized Japan operates on a completely different philosophy. The next morning, I experienced something that doesn't happen in Korea, Malaysia, or Singapore. I got lost trying to find a specific temple. I was standing on a street corner looking confused at my phone when an elderly Japanese woman approached me. She didn't speak any English, and I don't speak Japanese. But she saw I was lost and gestured for me to follow her. I thought she'd point me in the right direction. Instead, she walked with me for 20 minutes, completely out of her way, to make sure I found the temple. When we arrived, she bowed, refused my attempt to give her money, and simply walked away. I stood there shocked. In Korea, people are helpful and kind. They'll give you directions or call someone who speaks English. In Malaysia, people are warm and friendly. In Singapore, people are polite and helpful. But this Japanese woman gave up 40 minutes of her day, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, for a complete stranger and expected nothing in return. This happened to me 4 more times during my trip. Random Japanese people going completely out of their way to help me, refusing any thanks or payment. Here's something that really showed me the difference. I went to a convenience store, just a regular 7-Eleven, at 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. In Korea, convenience stores are great, clean, organized, good service. In Malaysia and Singapore, they are normal convenience stores. But in Japan, even at 2 a.m., the store was immaculate. I mean perfect. Every product faced forward. Every shelf fully stocked. The floor spotless. And the young clerk, probably working the night shift for minimum wage, treated me like I was a VIP customer. He carefully scanned each item, placed them in the bag with such care, used both hands to give me my change, bowed, and thanked me for buying a rice ball and water at 2 a.m. I watched him, and after I left, through the window, I saw him immediately start cleaning and reorganizing. This wasn't just good service. This was someone who took pride in their work no matter how small the job, no matter what time it was, no matter that no one was watching. The cultural difference really hit me when I visited a traditional tea ceremony. Now, Korea has beautiful tea culture. I'd experienced it and loved it. Malaysia has diverse cultural ceremonies. Singapore has preserved some traditions. But the Japanese tea ceremony was something beyond what I'd seen anywhere else. Every single movement had meaning. The way the tea master picked up the cup, the way she turned it, the angle of her bow, the position of the utensils. Nothing was random. Everything had been refined over hundreds of years to achieve perfection. The ceremony took an hour, and we only drank 1 small cup of tea. But it wasn't about the tea. It was about being present in the moment, respecting the process, honoring the tradition. The tea master told me through a translator, "We don't do this to be fancy. We do this because our ancestors discovered that when you do everything with complete attention and care, life becomes more beautiful." That philosophy, doing everything with complete attention and care, I saw it everywhere in Japan after that. Here's something that amazed me about Japanese work culture compared to what I'd seen. In Korea, people work incredibly hard. I'd seen it firsthand. The dedication is intense. In Malaysia and Singapore, people work hard too. But in Japan, I saw something different. I watched a street sweeper cleaning a subway station. This person was sweeping the same area over and over, making sure every tiny piece of dirt was gone. Not because a supervisor was watching, not because they'd get a bonus, but because that was the right way to do the job. I saw a sushi chef who'd been making sushi for 40 years still practicing his knife skills every morning before opening. I saw a convenience store manager spending an hour perfectly arranging products even though customers would mess it up in minutes. The difference wasn't about working hard. Koreans work hard, Malaysians work hard, Singaporeans work hard. The difference was about striving for perfection in your craft, no matter how humble that craft might be. One day, I accidentally left my wallet on a bench in a park in Osaka. I realized 30 minutes later and ran back, panicking. The wallet was gone. My heart sank. I had all my cash, my credit cards, everything. But then I saw it, sitting on top of a pole next to the bench, perfectly visible so I wouldn't miss it. Someone had found my wallet, and instead of taking it to police or keeping it, they placed it where I'd definitely see it when I came back looking for it. Everything was inside, all my money, all my cards. This wouldn't surprise Japanese people, but coming from traveling through multiple countries, it shocked me. Yes, Korea is safe. Yes, Singapore is honest. But in Japan, this level of honesty isn't just common, it's expected. It's not about being a good person. It's about maintaining the social harmony that makes Japanese society function. The attention to detail in Japan compared to other Asian countries is extraordinary. I bought a small souvenir, just a keychain, from a shop in Kyoto. In Korea, they'd put it in a bag nicely. In Malaysia, they'd wrap it simply. In Singapore, they'd package it properly. But in Japan, the shop owner spent 5 minutes wrapping this cheap keychain. She used special paper, folded it into origami, tied it with a perfect ribbon, placed it in a bag, sealed the bag with a sticker, and then used both hands to present it to me while bowing. For a keychain that cost 500 yen, about $3. I almost laughed at the contrast. This wasn't about the value of the item. This was about the principle: if you're going to do something, do it beautifully. I saw this everywhere. The way food was plated in restaurants. The way gardens were maintained. The way people dressed for work. The way public restrooms were cleaned. Japanese public toilets are cleaner than most hotel bathrooms I've stayed in. Here's something that really touched my heart. I went to a small temple in the countryside, away from tourist areas. An old monk was there, and even though we couldn't communicate verbally, he invited me in for tea. We sat in silence for 30 minutes, just drinking tea and looking at the garden. No pressure to talk. No awkwardness. Just peaceful existence together. Before I left, he gave me a small wooden bracelet he'd made and gestured that I should wear it for good luck. When I tried to pay him or donate, he refused and looked almost offended. In Korea, I'd experienced beautiful Buddhist hospitality. In Malaysia, I'd met kind religious people. But this monk in Japan showed me something different. The idea that some human connections transcend language, culture, or transaction. He shared his peace with me simply because I was there, and that was enough reason. Now, I want to be clear about something important. Korea is amazing. The energy, the technology, the food, the K-pop culture, the rapid development. Malaysia is incredible. The diversity, the warmth of the people, the affordable lifestyle, the food variety. Singapore is impressive. The organization, the cleanliness, the efficiency, the safety. I loved each of these countries for different reasons. But Japan showed me something that none of the others did. Japan showed me what happens when an entire culture decides that excellence isn't just for important things, it's for everything. The way you make ramen, the way you sweep a floor, the way you wrap a keychain, the way you help a lost tourist, the way you place items in a convenience store bag. Everything deserves your best effort. Everything deserves care and attention. On my last day in Japan, I went back to that tiny ramen shop to say goodbye to the old chef. When he saw me, his face lit up with recognition. He made me another bowl, somehow even better than the first. When I finished and got up to pay, he refused my money. Through gestures and broken English, he made me understand that this bowl was a gift because I'd come back. That meant something to him. I tried to explain that I was leaving Japan and wanted to pay, but he just kept shaking his head and smiling. Finally, I bowed deeply to him, the way I'd learned Japanese people show deep respect, and he bowed back even deeper. We stood there, two people from completely different worlds, bowing to each other with genuine respect and gratitude. That moment captured what Japan taught me. Respect isn't just a word or a rule. It's a way of life that transforms every human interaction into something meaningful. So here's my honest conclusion after traveling through South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, and Japan. Each country is special and beautiful in its own way. Korea inspires you with its energy and determination. Malaysia welcomes you with its diversity and warmth. Singapore impresses you with its efficiency and vision. But Japan humbles you. It shows you that there's always room for more care, more attention, more excellence in everything you do. It teaches you that the way you do small things is the way you do everything. It demonstrates that a society built on mutual respect, attention to detail, and quiet dedication can create something extraordinary. After Japan, I looked at my own life differently. If a 70-year-old ramen chef can spend 15 minutes making a perfect bowl for a stranger, if a street sweeper can take pride in cleaning the same spot until it's perfect, if a convenience store clerk can treat a 2 a.m. customer with dignity and care, then what's my excuse for doing anything half-heartedly? That's why Japan shocked me more than Korea, Malaysia, or Singapore. Not because it's better, each country is amazing in its own way, but because it challenged me to be better. If this video changed how you see Japan like it changed me, please subscribe to this channel. I'm bringing you real, honest travel content that goes deeper than just tourist attractions. Hit that like button and comment below, which country shocked you the most? Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, or Japan? Or maybe a different country entirely. Share this with anyone who loves Asia or is planning to travel there. Next video, I'll be diving even deeper into the hidden culture of Japan that tourists never see. See you there.